but Dumbledore just kind of pivots and waits for the right moments to go for double Qs. A lot of people there would rush the Q to get him into the wall, and even other situations in the entire game where, for example, they catch Graves, he has the presence of mind to look at the entire screen and then pivot and troll his Q at one point towards Afrin and get another double stun. So he has really good oversight in these teamfights, and that allows Stomach to really carry, because Stomach played surprisingly well overall in this series.
And that's who I want to talk about, because I said my biggest question for this team is, will they get off the Gragas jungle and go towards the more early game lane focused junglers? And with the Kindred pickup now being picked up and in a fantastic victory, that kind of gives them another dynamic to how they can start winning these games.
And this is all without talking about Naru in the mid lane, who actually played phenomenally, had a great scoreline. Unfortunately, we're not going to have enough time to talk about that matchup. Nope. We could probably get into it the next time we see him up on the plate to play against another team. We'll have more time to talk about it. Yes, exactly. We've still got one more score to settle today as Faker and SK Telecom Team 1 square off against the LMS's Flash Wolves. We'll be right back for MSI 2016 after the break.
Double kill for Stixxay. Doldrin makes his way in. He's gonna fall. No, he's not. Lancer respite there, saves the mind as well. How is this even happening? Almodoge got the gun. He doesn't hit. That's the March picks up the kill. Two takes down Stixxay in the backline. Massive entrance to the fight from Doldrin, and Naru takes down two already. And they're not pulling the trigger. There's that teleport. Doldrin trying to come in. Dumbledore as well. Naru stopping the backs. Doldrin is going to be taking down the Nexus.
With the mid-season invitational around the corner, let's take a look back at some of the most amazing plays from the 2016 LMS Spring Split. Sneaking into number 5, Flash Wolves Maple surprises Hong Kong Esports for Kenya in this 1v1.
这里面打起来的话，感觉 HK 现阶段会多一个人哦。
那目前以召唤师技能来说的话
，Rockinia 直接探草
，Rockinia 用探草的方式 ，Maple 给他一整波的爆发，两边的交手，再转一个迎战，这一下，哇 ，Maple 闪现过去，终于有剁到那一下普攻，把 Rockinia 手刃起来。
这波真的很漂亮哦！首先是直接开大绝上去一个普攻啊！刚开始 Rockinia 这个 Q 是 miss 掉了，如果有打中的话，应该是直接残血死掉。这边我回了很多血，最后一下，
哇，他用闪现贴到了雷之脸上，把他刮下来。
At number 4, TBA's Fofo works his magic in a duel against MSE's Mission.
这个对方给带走，
这里真的是打得很好。
哇！结果在草丛处，哦，Fofo盯上了Mission，徐若下去，灵光炸弹想来反打，Mission这波能不能关掉Fofo的人头？哇！这个火箭轰炸没有命中，
闪现再回去。
这一波的交手，这个火箭轰炸没有轰到，太可惜了。
Popping into number 3, Fofo made 4 of his enemies disappear in a flash.
我比进场，我被炸出来，大家被炸出来，很可惜啊！全员拉起来的情况下，Fofo 闪现，Fofo 直接收3个，哇，900块杀了3个人头，这时间算得太漂亮了吧？对，这一边，这一边再杀，4个，这边 refrain 大绝其算的时机，开心先把别人大毙了，棒900块，哇，这个1伤害好赚。
AHQ's Westdoor left Maple out in the cold in our number 2 play.
Maple 跟 Westdoor 要来交手了吗？开了鬼刀，哦，这边是稍微顿了一下，不过 Maple 是躲过第3座的大绝，第3座大绝是放在自己身上躲过这个死亡印记的一个伤害量。Maple 再往前 ，Westdoor 敌人，哇，现在交手这里 Westdoor 跟 Maple 单挑是 Westdoor 得胜哦，2次的控制都靠到了 Maple 身上。
And coming in at number 1, Flash Wolves NL was relentless as he picked up the pentakill.
哇，你可以看得到这一边的会战 ，Apex 看起来大力过来，应该是在前面没有死了，回到2个人身上，当然这一边呢，哇，没有办法防守，所以防守伤害哟。4连杀 ，Bobo 这一边5连杀 ，NL 要给他吗？最后一个人头，5连杀，哇哦，一眨眼之间。
At
Blank 还没打职业以前，我们就已经认识他了。就是他那时候 ID 还是个路人，然后我们很常在积分场上遇到。然后每次跟 Blank 就是积分对到的时候，我们都会互相打招呼。
미드 정도보다 엄청 심하거든요. 카사랑跟 브랭크 认识的话是在他加入周一的那时候他去那不过听到他加入 SKT 的时候，然后他后来在比赛中变得越来越强，所以希望可以在比赛中更小组。
Welcome back to the 2016 Mid-Season Invitational, where our last match today pits the LMS's Flash against the reigning world champions SK Telecom T1. And after today's games, gentlemen, I feel like anything can happen here.
Yeah, I certainly agree with that. Just want to respond to the video a little bit. Flake wasn't playing well because Royal's got made him top lane. He's a juggler, so yeah, definitely knows the RNG lineup well. He was one of the teams that came into that, but this is obviously hard matchup for I feel like SKT, you know, they've just lost the game. When you lose a game like that against RNG, you take your frustration out against the closest team you can find, and unfortunately for the Flash Wolves, that happens to be them, and I feel like SKT really just give them a good shake.
Let's throw in on that mid lane matchup, though. Faker versus Maple, as Faker in that previous match against RNG was the one who was targeted, was the one who was kept down.
Yeah, coming into this event, I said Maple was the second best mid laner to Faker, at least in my opinion, and he's done really well so far. Faker was super targeted in their loss to RNG, and I'm really curious to see how Coma decides to protect him in the ban phase, or whether he thinks Faker himself will be able to bounce back to middle. Really see SKT or Faker as one to tilt. He's been through it before. He knows he is the best and has that confidence. But I'm really interested to see if Flash Wolves try and attack that exact same point and whether an SKT can block it.
Especially considering that there's only one of the mid laner for Flash Wolves, Charles and Maple. We've always looked at them as this dynamic duo. I mean, it would almost make sense that maybe they go and attack this.
All the Flash roster and even the LMS, they play from there with different styles. Sometimes they go and they hammer away in mid lane, sometimes they roll to the side lanes. But I think that they return to a more aggressive style that they had in the LMS because the slow style that they play so hard is Flash Wolves. I feel like even though he started off very snowbally, SKT was just so good at how high level they can go and then eventually getting the upper hand. Against RNG, they kind of equalized the item advantage because they took it to over like 80,000, 90,000 gold.
It's not that they can do it, it's that it's actually SKT's like game plan in a lot of these games nullify bottom lane, even though I think in my opinion the SKT team bottom lane is much better than the Flash Wolves bottom lane. They still don't play to win lane, they just play to go equal, take the smaller game. They honestly do what Flash Wolves do, in my opinion, with a much better lineup.
Yeah, which is why to Grumpus one, I feel like the Flash Wolves needs to be able to play quickly. Yeah. At the same time, this is what we were saying before the RNG game, and then RNG, while they did get a few early games out, played a relatively safe game in closing it out, and it was still...
I mean, RNG refuses to do Bait Baron. I mean, a lot of what they're doing at the tournament, but like, there's no sense of macro in that mid game. It's really steal hero or go find the hero, whether it's something else like macro but
it kind of felt one of those situations where RNG needed to get ahead in the early game so that they could extend it to the late game so that they could win that one team fight that ended up winning them. Because we've kind of gone back and forth about what exactly is the formula, if there is one to beating SKT. And maybe it isn't just win the early game and win before 30 minutes, and maybe it isn't just hold on until the end. It's going to be that tall order of you need to get ahead, you need to create advantages so that you can measure up to or level out against the consistency of SKT's matches.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I also think that they will have a little bit more of an easy job sieging than what RNG did, because RNG picked a comp that was very much a team-fight comp. I mean, they picked around that one win condition. I do think that the Black Wolves drafts are that narrow, and if they are, they play 1-3-1 much better than what RNG do. So I think that they will have an easier job if they get the 7,000-8,000 gold ahead than what RNG did to close out the game. But I just don't think that it's going to be that easy 2 days of games in a row to get 8,000 gold ahead. SKT.
The 1-3-1 depends on which flash will style shows up, because when they're going back to some of these like the Zero picks, they kind of group around that, or running not the assassin that they're used to running, but I want to see this Maple go toe with Faker, play an aggressive champion and see if we can get him down, put him on the side lane, start playing the map. That would be fun to see.
Yeah, we know so much Night versus the Clan was really SKT's lone loss was really critical for them. And Maple, even though he's crushed a lot of these games, he hasn't necessarily crushed the lane phase, which I know he's capable of doing. So once again, I want to see more of the flash rolls that we saw in the LMS, and less of the flash rolls that we saw at Worlds.
Just give us gang plan.
Yeah, we still have a little bit more time to talk as the team's already ready on stage. Closing out that Maple point, I want to move to the top lane. Right, because MMD against Duke of all people. Cooper probably considers the best top lane against MMD. We've seen flashes of play from MMD, but we've also seen moments of struggle too. So how do you feel about that?
Flash was MMD all that well. I'll go back to the game against CLG where they just have him teleport into that bottom lane. I think that Duke, on the other hand, is used phenomenally from the SKT lineup. He's a very solid individual mechanical player, but they have ironed out a lot of the difficulty they had early on in the season with trying to get the teleport plays going. So in my opinion, it's another one of those cases that Duke is head and shoulders, for me at least, the best top laner at this tournament.
All right, well, with that, the teams are just not ready to get in the game, so it's time to send these squads back onto the rim. So hand it off to our captain in the game.
欢迎回到2016邀请到的部分，在明一个马上来到就是赛事，是我们的这个 LPA 战队上的在 SKT 队上面的这个比赛。当然，在我们比赛开始前，还是跟大家做一下探讨，到底 SKT 的状况是什么样。所以，为什么他们其实在昨天比赛表现非常好，其实确实是个局。
对，我觉得这边主要来讲还是Faker前面被照顾的太严重，但是我觉得有一个很需要去注意的点，正是这个点在这边有一个很大的一个他已经回到别人头，他们会这样很大的当时做了一个输出哦，所以我会觉得这边其实是闪亮更需要注意的部分。
对，那当然我想问一下，其实在我们前面比赛可以看到，当时 Faker 被吐得非常惨的情况，不过当时 Blank 却是选择去 cover Faker， 而没有选择去其他路线夺取更多的资源，会不会显得有点 Blank 太过于死板？因为我们之前也有聊到说，关于一个路线如果爆掉了，其他应该要去做其他路线，就是爆掉率。
我觉得这应该是来自Benky老大哥的跟团，你一定要帮他，顾这个大腿有点不太行。但我觉得其实也不会太行，就刚才在那里讲说他是要帮他大腿，但是有一个重要只是说，当时的那个特效不是由阿奇尔来对上勒布朗，这个时间点如果你不帮助阿奇尔的话，其实勒布朗雪球会越滚越大，那可能就不会是一个30开勒布朗，他可能是50甚至更多，所以他这边去卡了，他其实是要防止这个雪球继续的被滚大。但是在我们发挥在今天好像没有特别好，包括他的一个标准的准度好像是没有发挥很好。 对，感觉在没有拿到进来这个角度，然后 Blank 这个威胁性是有稍微下降的，那就看说他这场比赛有没有在分数上面有做什么调整。因为上次其实是我觉得他们对面对 RNG 的时候，进爪是被 ban 掉的嘛，那所以就看说这场闪电狼这边要怎么来应对。
马上来看一下我们今天的最后一场比赛，我们的蓝方是 SKT， 对方是 W 闪电狼，在第一个分的话，在蓝非常一样的作风，他会行希维尔的战术，第一个 ban 就把希维尔给掉。
对，那我觉得这边场边没有这种看起来，
大家都知道这个发挥在前面比赛到底非常好，知道在看起来之后的角色其实会被限制，尤其在这个 ban
限制 Maple 的一个角色是不太可行啊，包含现在开起来的角色还有杰啦，或者是说。他的阿奇尔，甚至是雷兹，他都可以玩的情况下，其实我觉得并没有把这个靠边角就把它限制。
最后一个边掉的冒海，闪电狼在最后一个边其实想了蛮久，因为目前雷兹放在外面，但当然金爪也放在外面，这两个角色其实是闪电狼必须要去注意的，而且在最后一个边来看一下，我们查查老师要怎么去做一个应对哦，剩下6秒钟的时间。
开哦，是全部都开，然后直接拿，因为对方只能拿1张，这边可以拿2只，
就变一个提摩好了，好吗？
我觉得这边提摩就有点才能花这个 fence 哦，你就长得跟提摩很像。
我呀，对，在这就附近的3分钟少变，
还蛮多的，
说的，但是这个后来就是发现每一个都是在位移的时候，你还是不要选石头人好了，有点难撞。
对，而且这手法，就算你选择一些没有位移的角，他还是可以靠闪现去躲掉石头人的大绝。最后奈德利选了下来，就是看起来想要重振一下本队在一个奈德利比较不好的一个赛场。但他们拿下了奈德利，怎样的拿？像我刚刚讲，全开的一个展现，然后艾克，他这两个角色是在现行的版本当中非常强势的上路跟石头角。更重要的是，它只是一个百搭的一个阵型。摆张这样子之后，你后面还是可以继续藏你的兵。对，而且闪电狼在拿到了这个艾克跟凯撒这两只的角色之后，其实可以发挥最大的一个机动性。这一场这样子有可能选到他们最强的一个阵容。不过在前三的人上拿走阿奇也会，应该还好。就是比如说你现在如果选下阿奇的话，被这个角色也来打，他们拿加文，他们会拿这个杰来打。就变成说，你现在先亮出这张牌，其实不是太理想。闪电狼可以试着像他们在打在决赛中一样，把后面的铁放在最后面的点段，是比较安全的。那一个直接拿下的路线，他们只要玩那种3强一样的阵容。对，他是说我从哪里跌倒，从哪里站起来的感觉。结果他俩输的是这样的阵容，这场也要拿出类似的阵容出来做。会不会等一下就是波比跟泰克奇吧？一样的角色嘛，哇！来看到底会怎么选？闪电狼终于想到。终于，安全稳定决定够。的话，你会有个问题是，在打线要面对变上是非常痛苦的一件事情。对，这可能在会议的评价的话，你要换线已经锁了。如果他们要打这样的一个路线，我觉得闪电狼喜欢就是在自己打一个换线，这样子来可以让你至少上下路都拿到一定的发育，至少后面我这边拿到一个基本的装备，然后去面对。发育来看一下当然 NL 的196，相信大家不用指，对他的数据是非常好的。JT 这边在最后的2个 pick， 真的会拿出放一次的阵容吗？当然，其实沃福在之前他们本身 LCK 自己的比赛之中，Tank 其实使用率就是非常的，不是算非常高，但是用的时候都是非常的好的。对，那这边其实他们在思考一点，因为现在闪电狼的中路并没有选出来，他有可能打的是用 poke 阵来解你的阿奇尔，他也可能是用刺客阵来解你的阿奇尔。所以变成说，你现在如果先选下 Tank，其实会有一个问题是，如果你是面对 poke 阵，他是会有很难的效果。当他然后在他这样的节奏可以帮助他在中打到不同的我觉得这个跟他玩就然后是非常适合这种节奏。这2下子中间要接得很好，看来玩节奏是有在练，看起来是有练出来喽。这边最后是在上路点位可能要拿波比了，那在底部哇，那这样的选择看起来目前的角色，我觉得法路是还不错的，法路跟后期来面对，而且传统都还不错。这边如果是要拿雷兹的话，我感觉是在打脸，他们这时候雷兹后期比阿奇还要烂。对，我这边访问他以后知道我都知道了，他们有点选拿打脸。哇，这边时间还有30秒，其实可以考虑一下这个算是中路的库奇或是法洛士这个角色，其实在常规赛不管任何世界的常规赛，其实都是通用的，尤其是库奇，比较偏 poke 的角色是可以来解阿奇尔的。那你选下这个比较偏战中爆发的这个雷兹的话，我会觉得在手长上面是有一个比较大的问题。上一场这个之前 G2 的比赛，其实也就展现出来，说你要去打 G2 要去打阿奇尔这个就变得有点难去处理。因为要拿下来嘛，是有一个已经想的非常的全新的，是来的这个比赛打的，其实打有点大。但现在来说是大量的，就算这一轮这个不获胜或者是输了，其实最终还有调整的一个空间，就是拿了下来，就是雷兹。这样的伤害其实就是偏到了比较同期的感觉，就是要跟阿水去比一个中期发育的感觉。对，那这边的话，这个对线来讲的话，闪电狼这边的中野联动的效果是会比上期来的好。最主要是前期的话 ，Memo 这边的雷兹的支援性跟他的控制，都会比阿水来的要好一些。到了比赛中2打1，但其实没有听到阿水，那可能至少有一个方法。如果那边听到的话，就在怎么样在有不知道是太紧张了，还是说在线上对的效果，这一场的 罗马在这边节奏，不过当然在最后一个 pick 的选择下来，还是就这样的感觉起来，我觉得想法来说没有太多的一个变化，感觉闪亮的就是整体阵容，包含像我们包含这个比赛看起来，这变化并不大的。
我觉得看，因为现在还是第一轮的比赛嘛，没有必要一开始就亮出过牌，因为现在其实还不是在一个晋级的关键时刻。也许闪亮有练了一个大招，然后是等到最后一个才要使用罗梅不得而知。
但是水用的哇，这波是神的结果，到底会不会赢过就看这一场比赛了。
不是前面已经证明他自己会流血，
对，有些神会流血，神会跌倒。这一场到底会不会跌到直接摔到地板上？我们看一下闪电，然后做一个表现了。这种看起来。就感觉 SKT 就拿了这个最后也是不想放高的，其实都有所保留。
其实两边的阵容都还蛮相似的，不管在前几场比赛看起来，其实这个阵容算是比较完整，就还蛮标准的一个阵容。
对，比赛正式开始了，也是我们第2天的最后一场比赛，由 SKT 对上闪电狼。
比较大的是为什么要让他们在乎拿奈德利，并不是因为他奈德利可能第一场玩的不好，所以就叫他不要选，而是说如果你要选下的是阿奇的这种角色的时候，其实你在第一轮可以先抢一下劲爪，这样子的话，你在整个经济上面你会有一个保护阿奇有最后发挥的一个空间。
是，但是其实就我们当然了解到奈德利这个角色，在之前你在前面跟的对手，我也不管是换哪个队伍，换到欧洲，换到欧洲角色都有这个角色的压力在这一个控制是真的非常多，就还是他有还是高的感觉，可能他的技术里面都被需要的，但是要是你要在手上感觉大家有哈萨拿到，哈萨也是奈德利带领。保持更适，所以来看一下大家对了，这个线路看起来是把两边都要选择做一个路线，不过就闪电狼目前双方组的这个阵容打一个阵线，我是觉得不太妙。
比较还好的是，因为沃夫这边选的跳狼者，他在前期的这个侵略性并没有那么强，他主要是在反战上面有大力的发挥，所以在前期对线上面来讲，我觉得闪电狼这边有牛的话，他是可以比较舒缓这个压力的。
这是开局了，Blank 是选择上半部这边的单狼是做一个开始，因为现在到下路的位置，不过感觉这个路线有点不太好，他把蓝 buff 给留下来了。
是为了他，因为这个在前期掌握到闪电狼的位置，那我们看到后脚换的时候，对方的双人先知道的蓝 buff 太奇怪了，但为了怕对方来到他的靠近到这个哇，他有一种这种
就是看起来爬起来之后，那也感觉到可能也是往上面做一个开局，直接到这边的蓝 buff， 这个应该是没有问题吧？还在 buff 点号的开始蓝 buff， 如果闪电狼没有察觉到的话，这边蓝 buff 开始，
这段没有看到可能不会影响太多，主要还是他这段蓝 buff 之后直接变成小路的话，想要特别小心，因为他们的视野上并没有掌握到 Frank 的位置。
确实，闪电狼这边也是打得蛮保守，也知道自己目前的阵容不太有太多的压制力。另外两个人这边多少的是点了一个 combo 技，不过对面直接出来，我们偷咬了一下，换血成功，看起来闪电狼是吃亏，不过起码他们还是有往上翻，哈萨第一个往上发的，我是觉得蛮好的，这个点就有点高哦。前面来说，现在就在这里，也察觉到了。到这边的蓝 buff 做一个交换，
他这个甚至度有点浅到了。
到这个位置上其实也是打得很凶的，大陆的这边加到对面的大陆知道对面的张狗到自家的蓝 buff， 很怕。
综合这边的意识也很好，但没有掌握到情况下，还是在自己的三角场先插入，确保说这个卡塔不会从后方跳出来。
花这边在前面的 AD， 自己家的 Ben 是被打了一套，这吃好吃满，这是目前全部都打到。这当然，其实1.6在前期换血要换跳狼也是打到换。
在前面挡了一个跳狼的情况下，他的换血上面是比较困难的。
而且前期来说，如果下位可以才1分，会有很大。现在这个版本就被改，这个压 线应该是可以安稳推到里面。
对，因为他们刚在下路换血的时候成功把 Ben 打到大部分血量，所以被迫更是要回家去一下，他们抓到这个空档，赶快把兵线推进去，然后recall。
这边当然 Ben 也了解到这边的下路因为出水，他补了一个太子，然后在正线去补了一个太子图啊，有点知道一些队友
他也指定你一直热前期3下你，所以就跟你等到最后了。
大家所有的太多的相对，有一个在线上比较很少。好招风，怎么办？什么机会哦？都被打掉了。拉掉也没在怕，并且往前推，对 FK 没有太多的一个伤害。
对，这边还蛮可惜的，毕竟兵线适合这边。我觉得这边算是 Duke 这个区域开得非常好。
哇，这个是偷偷的躲在律师者附近，这个抓人，并没有成功，要回到了自己的中路位。现在在中路来是打电脑的下路是也是正国太多的东西。
对，这个组合其实也要让他们在前期打，应该是靠卡萨前期可能是带到这个前锋，后在有的带到找到回来，不然要以正线上对打拿到2个优势的话，
这个剧本就是卡跟这个剧本不太一样，就是你没有办法在前期打出太多的优势的话，就真的会变成2边的一个实力。那到底是3边2个比较强的前提，我们就要来看一下。
刚好 Brain 在下半场之后，他早就全部拿到他的第2个
没有重置啊，这就是在上半场的核心，非常的顺。这边在右拿了2个的拉夫这里这个帮助打快速，要开始深入
已经看到。
对，不过这个距离有一点远哦，这个小强没有命中。阿苏的过后续的伤害也不足以留住闪电狼双人组，那个理由是被迫拉掉。
对，就 SKT 这边如果下半部他们要主动开战的话，会有问题。他们其实就只有 Wolf 的一个柱子可以来做开战，他们并没有任何 CC 可以留下闪电狼的队员哦。
Welcome to the howling abyss.
They exceed repugnance. Every heart has its own hunger. Appetite never wanes. Delicious. Diet is expansive. We all go up and down sometimes. Savor the misery. Let us eat voraciously and overindulge. Anything of death is deceitful. is to start. The real sin is to deny. Everyone ends down. I have tastes that are easily pacified. Never stops. Now we shall bloodline.
Enemy double kill.
I refuse to succumb to culinary degradation. All creation is born, banished, and starved. All the worlds of river. Misery has a delectable taste.
Rampage. Ally has been slain. Unstoppable.
I am appetite focused. All shall drown in my magnificence. The only real sin is to their despair is the season. True appetite never wins.
Ace.
Everyone ends downriver. Eventually. I have tastes that aren't easily pacified. We all
Double kill. Ally has been slain. You have been slain. Shut down.
now we shall learn.
Ally has been slain.
delectable taste. My diet is expansively unique. All the world's a river, and I'm its king. Nothing escapes. I have tastes that aren't easily pacified.
An enemy has been slain.
Mercy has no flavor.